Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Come play with us, Daddy.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. My name is Braden.
I'm Destiny.
And we are the Fear Freaks. Now, we got a really exciting show here tonight. You know, obviously, Orphan First Kill comes out this upcoming Friday. It's going to be in select theaters starting tomorrow night and streaming on Paramount Plus this upcoming Friday. So you guys can watch it in your guys' own home if you guys choose to. Very excited about tonight. First of all, do you guys like the new background? You guys like the new graphics and everything that's up and coming? I even made like a new closing segment for us as well. Destiny, you never freaking responded to me today when I sent it to you. I was really excited about it.
I didn't even watch it. I'm sorry.
I saw that you opened the message and you just didn't.
I didn't open it.
You did open it. I saw that it was open. It literally said, like, anytime like it shows like your little picture, it's been open. So, you know, it's okay. You don't got to lie to us right now on the show.
I don't remember opening
We don't got to. We don't got to talk about it live. It's okay. We can argue about this off stream. So
I remember you sending it. I don't remember opening it though. But
Yeah.
I did that the other day to my friend too. So.
I was like, well, okay, I guess, you know, I'm going to fuck off over here. So, you know.
Is that all right?
No, but seriously, welcome into everyone that's watching the show tonight. If you guys are listening in the future, tonight, I decided, I was like, you know what? If you miss us live, fucking catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't plug us in and watch us when you guys can't fucking, like, when you're driving and everything. Like, just listen to us. You know, listen to our voices as we present our thoughts on Orphan. Destiny, what's with the face?
Nothing.
I know, my voice absolutely sucks. I honestly wish, of all things, I wish I can replace my voice with anything
Definitely.
else.
I hate hearing my voice. I'm like, oh my God.
It's horrible. Like, I'm just like,
so
bro,
bad.
can you shut the fuck up, please?
Literally.
I mean,
I hate it.
but first of all, let's welcome in our chat, Lamontre.
Woo.
I apologize for almost mispronouncing your name, Lamontre. What's going on, man? How's it going? He says, hey, Braden and Destiny, I love watching this channel every day. Makes me so happy, and I appreciate y'all a lot. You know what? That is what we are here for. We are here.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you for tuning in and listening to us once again. Good Real Hunting. Great to see you in the chat. Atanis, what is going on? Atanis also says, I've never seen Orphan. Is it a good movie? And Brettman also helped him out here saying that there will be spoilers. There will definitely be spoilers in this stream. So if nobody has seen it, maybe you guys shouldn't either watch or listen. Or again, I normally just say if you genuinely just don't give a fuck, then you can be, hey, welcome. You know, we're definitely glad to have you here. Ashton, what's going on? How are you? Byron, how's it going? And Carlitos, what is going on? How's it going? Welcome into tonight's stream. So tonight, obviously, if you guys don't know, we are talking about Orphan from 2009. And with Orphan First Kill coming out this Friday, I thought that this was appropriate to discuss at this point. I love when, like, we're able to talk about topics as we get closer to, you know, a release date of something.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that has kind of been in development hell for a long time. Like, I mean, fucking first Orphan movie came out in what, 2009, like I said. And I feel like there have been talks about like an Orphan 2 or an Orphan prequel or a movie called Esther for just the longest time. I'm like, is this movie ever going to happen? And it looks like it finally is happening this upcoming Friday. So you guys will be able to stream it on Paramount Plus, like I said, this upcoming Friday, or you guys can see it in select theaters this upcoming Friday. Destiny, what are you going to be watching it on?
On Paramount Plus.
On Paramount Plus. I'm thinking I'm going to go see it in the theater tomorrow night. We'll see how I'm feeling at the end of the day tomorrow. But I'm kind of like, I feel like this is one that I kind of want to go see in the movie theater. But we're going to see how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll wait until Friday. But first things first, Destiny, what is in your world of horror this week? What's been going on within your horror world?
Not a lot because I haven't watched any new horror movies. I watched a comedy yesterday, but that was it. But I don't think last episode, I don't think I talked about They Them because I talked about the Black Phone. But I watched They Them when it came out on Peacock. It was okay.
Okay.
I was kind of expecting more from it, but it was just like a kind of like a watered down slasher, I guess. Like a lot of the kills weren't on screen, and I was pretty upset by that because I was hoping to see. And I feel like the usage of the camp wasn't enough. Like I felt like this could have been like a really good movie because like the premise of it, I thought it was interesting, and the freaking title is amazing. And then it just kind of felt like a little bit of a letdown. I don't think it was as bad as everyone made it out to be. Like I still had some fun with it, and I did like most of the characters, the ones you're supposed to like. I did genuinely like them, but like everything else, I was just like, okay. And then the last act, it just happened so fast. I was like, great, but you know, it was okay. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5, so literally like okay,
Like right down the middle.
right down the middle. Yeah, it just I feel like it could have been more, but you know, we got what we got.
I haven't seen that yet. I've actually like, I liked a clip that Kevin Bacon posted on TikTok. Like it came up on my TikTok, and I was like, I saw the clip of like when he's introducing himself like to everybody that's staying like at the camp and whatnot. I mean, this is a Blumhouse property, so it really doesn't surprise me that you say that it's kind of like watered down. Like I feel like this might be one of those movies. Like I feel like Blumhouse needs to decide if they want to go over the top or if they want to go just kind of like just under like I guess the standard of what a horror movie is. And because like because they've got great horror comedies that I feel like just have really excellent kills, and they've got like really excellent vibes and just like really excellent like all around great stuff to it. I don't know, like I mean it just like I'm just kind of like Blumhouse, man, like what the fuck are you doing? Like what do you got? What do you got for us? Like
Yeah,
can you be consistent, please?
that's the thing. I feel like they're definitely not consistent, or like the most consistent they are for me is like you said, just kind of like a watered down horror movie that really has like a lot of potential. It's like you just gotta take the extra step or something. Like I need a little bit more because, like I said, I still had some fun with it. And I did genuinely laugh at parts. Like it was like good in spots, but the horror elements I felt like weren't there. There was a part where they're like busting out singing Pink, and like I thought it was cute. I was like, that's actually kind of sweet. Like I like this, and it's just like it's a horror movie, which you can still have that, but like you have to still have like the horror elements. There wasn't like enough like stalking, and we didn't. I feel like we didn't get any sort of good POV shots from the killer. Like I don't know if I just was wanting like a Friday the 13th, but I was, and they even mentioned Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, and I was like, oh, but like
Interesting.
yeah, and like okay, I've never really found Kevin Bacon attractive, and I'm not saying his character is attractive, but he looked pretty good in this movie. I was like, how old are you? First of all, like I don't
Kevin
really.
Bacon, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like he's like one of those like actors. Like, I mean, he looked fine like in the original Friday the 13th, and obviously horror is nothing new to him, right? Like
Yeah, he's attractive.
yeah, like I mean, I feel like that a lot of like women from the 80s really loved on Kevin Bacon, and obviously he was in Footloose, which was a
Huge.
huge 80s movie. I mean, my mom fucking talks about all the time. Like, she's like, Kevin Bacon, oh my gosh. Like,
And like
So,
he's like I feel like he's always attractive, but like I never just like he's conventionally attractive, but I was never really like attracted to him. But in this movie I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're kind of an asshole. Like I said, I don't like the character, but he himself, I was like,
was
I
it
don't
just like
really like.
it had to have been his outfit. It had to have been like the rolled up
Maybe.
sleeves, like like
Maybe.
with the button up collar, like everything like that. Like I mean, I don't know, like because like when he posted the clip, I was just like, this is Kevin Bacon. What the fuck?
Kevin,
I was like,
what are you doing?
I was like, I don't know, like I feel like because like he was in a show called The Following in the early 2010s or whatever. Like it was on FX, I think. And I mean, like, dude, like he he definitely, I feel like, is like getting better looking like as he ages, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now? I feel like some
Yeah,
of these
like the
actors,
silver hair and everything. I was like,
yeah, I'm just like, damn, like, all right, Kevin Bacon, like he
okay,
still has
Kevin.
like I'm like, dude, you can still be on a fucking dating app and still get an ass ton of fucking like, like
Absolutely.
you
All the
can just get,
swipes.
yeah, you can just like get DMs like your way, like, hey, what you doing tomorrow night, huh?
Seriously, I was like, oh my God. And like, I don't really like older men like that. Like, I'm not, there's very few. Okay. Usually my cutoff is about like 50, very few. But I was like, hello.
Yeah, I
Why
will
do you look
say
so good?
I will say I think I strive to look like Paul Rudd like when I am like his age. Like I think Paul Rudd,
Timeless.
I'm pretty sure that he just crossed 50. And
He
like
looks good.
dude looks fucking fantastic for his age. Like
Do
I'm
you
like
wear moisturizer?
me?
Yeah.
I do actually, yeah. Like
Okay, good.
I like moisturize my face. I wash my face. I take care of my body. I like I
Okay.
work out, and I feel like that. Like maybe when I get to 50, I guess I'll tell. Maybe I'll take a picture of me now. I'll just be like, you know what,
Okay.
selfie, psh, and then I'll post myself with the same exact pose when I'm 50, and we'll be like, okay, yo, do I still look like I was when I was 26? If I do, then that's a good sign. So,
I hope I age like Winona Ryder
okay,
because
yeah. I
she
mean,
is she is
she's
still
stunning.
stunning.
She really is. I mean, like she at like the Stranger Things premieres, like fuck, like I'm
That
just
fucking ad she did for like Gucci, I think, with the milk, I was like, oh my God. She looks so fucking good.
yeah,
She's beautiful. So
yeah. No, I mean, just like literally, there are like those that you see that are like 50. I mean, even fucking Robert Downey Jr. Like I'm
oh
like,
God.
whoa, like dude is 55 and looks like he is just getting better looking as he ages. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
like
he looks good.
I mean, he looks. I mean, but you also have to consider Downey's past. Like Downey went through an ass ton of alcoholism and drugs, and so I mean, the fact that he was able to recover from that, like, fuck.
He's doing amazing. That
I mean,
man is so fine.
that man is like legit. Like, I'm about his height too, so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd has a little bit of height on me. I'm like, if I can age like Robert Downey Jr. does, I feel like that I will be happy in my 50s.
Yeah.
Like, like if I'm overweight and fat and just like, slouching down, like I feel like I'm just going to be miserable. Like, that's what, this is why I allowed Abby to sign me up for the half marathon upcoming in January so I can, prepare to run this 13 and a half miles and be okay.
I don't know. I don't care that much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be running.
You're like, if that's going to be what it takes, then I'm just going to check out now.
Like I do like running, but not that much. Not for that long.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But anyway, the only thing that's really in my world of horror this week is I bought Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 the theatrical editions on Blu-ray. I figured I should add those to my Halloween collection, being that I own almost every edition of all of these ever. So, I was like, you know what? Might as well just own the theatrical cut because so that's pretty much all that's going on in my end. So let's get into Orphan. So Orphan is a movie that, in my opinion, is such an underrated horror film. I mean, like it is quite good in almost every element. Like it's got thrills, it's got good scares, it's got a fucking twist that just leaves you thinking constantly about the movie after. I mean it. Like this is like one of those movies like where anybody brings it up in a conversation, I'm like, yo, the fuck are you talking about Orphan? Cause fuck, like I mean, Destiny, when was the first time that you saw Orphan?
So I think I saw this like the year it came out, or maybe 2010, because I watched it at my dad's apartment for the first time.
Okay.
And like I remember watching it. So it was either the year it came out or 2010. I want to say it was still 2009. And we must have like rented it like from the store or like on TV or something. But like I can remember watching it for the first time. And I can remember being truly like at the end I was like, what the fuck? Because there's a lot of movies that I felt like older movies that I just kind of knew the twist going in already. So this is one of those movies that I actually got to experience the twist myself just because I was a little bit younger. So watching this, and this movie is like always stuck with me. It is, so much of it has always stuck with me. And like you said, any like there's one time at work we were talking about movies and my boss mentioned this movie. I was like, oh my god, that movie is so good. And we're like, that it's such a great movie. Those that have seen it, I feel like almost everyone that I've seen talk about it, it's always good things, and it's mainly because of the twist, which understandable because it's fucking great.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so I saw this movie I saw it the year it came out. I saw it opening night. I was like lucky enough to be able to see this opening night. Now, my dad had to buy me and my friends tickets, but I saw it. I was in 7th grade. I saw it with a girl I really had a big crush on at the time. Like, she was like one of these girls that, like, our sisters played softball together. So, like, we had been trying to, like, hang out for a while. And I was like, okay, you know what? I got the whole plan. We're going to meet at the mall. We're going to shop around for a little bit. And we're going to go see this movie called Orphan. I was like, do you like horror movies? She was like, yeah, I like scary movies. I was like, perfect. So then this is perfect for us. So like we get to the mall, like we're shopping around. She brought a couple of her friends. You know, this was the first time that we were hanging out outside of like hanging out at our sister's practice. So I mean, she brought friends, like making sure I don't know why she brought friends, because like she thought I was like a fucking psycho in 7th grade. I mean, hey,
Maybe.
but you know what? After seeing this movie, she was like, you know what? This is why I brought my friends.
No, literally, it's like, what the fuck was that?
Right? So, like we get there, we go sit in the theater. It's a packed house. Like we had no idea it was going to be that like crowded. Like, and this is 2009, so the theater that we saw it at was actually new to the area. So like, I mean, it was a pretty big hot spot for a weekend in town. So we saw it Friday night, opening night. We get there, we're in the front row. We had to sit all the way up front because we just, poor planning and like everything. So now I'm someone that really likes to get to the movies early.
Mm-hmm.
But the 7th grade me, I was just kind of like, okay, whatever, we can shop around for a little while, whatever. Now movies are way more important to me than they were in
If I'm not there at least 15 minutes before the time says, I'm like anxious. Like I have to get there early.
Like I'm just like, okay, like, well, we got to go. Like, let's
go.
go. Like we have to.
I want to be the first person in the theater.
Right, because otherwise you get fucking caught in the front row, like I was. So I sat in the front row. We sat there, and I mean, just throughout the movie, man, like, holy shit, was it a fucking experience? Like, I mean, like as like it was like playing out. Now, be mindful, guys. I was in 7th grade at the time, but I mean, like, so when you know that scene in the movie, like when they're talking about Esther and she comes downstairs, she gets milk and everything like that. She's pouring the milk, and then like the boy is like maneuvering around in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden it's like, what? Like I laughed out loud at that. I was like, ha! Like, I don't know. I was the only one in the theater that fucking laughed. So they were like, this kid's in fucking middle school. Get him the fuck out of here.
Get him out of here.
No, but I mean, genuinely, it was one of those movies like where like it was an experience from beginning to end, because I mean, my hands were genuinely sweating like during certain scenes. I feel like that it's kind of got like a mix of like every element that you would want to see in a scary movie, like, or in it's like a slasher. It's kind of like a psychological thriller. It's kind of got like a mix of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had read somewhere that they, like, the writers and like the director of the movie, like they were putting in a lot of sort of horror cliches in order to like keep kind of like throwing you around so you wouldn't figure out like the twist of the movie. Because like I'm curious to know if anyone saw the twist coming, because I feel like it is so out there that I feel like if you figured this out on your own, I think you're probably a genius, because I didn't see the shit coming. But I read that they kept putting like different sort of horror cliches in there to keep you like, turning you. Like, you think you know what's going on? You still don't. You think you know what's going on? You don't. You think you know what's going on, but at the end, you kind of do, but then again, you really don't, and that's why I freaking love this movie, because it's crazy. It's
Right.
actually insane.
Right. Like, I mean, it really is. It's like, it's almost, and like, Bretman and I were texting like a little bit like this afternoon, and I was like watching it. And speaking of which, he said, like, this is what I told you, watchmojo.com, like, or watch Mojo's YouTube channel ruined the twist for me. I'm sorry about that. Because, like, this is like one of those twists, like, where I wish that you, like, any first person watching this, like, this is one of those movies I would love to see their reaction for. Like,
Yes.
no, like, oh shit. Like, sorry if I hit the mic, people. No, but it's just like, oh shit. Like, that ending, or it's not even like really a big shock at the end, because by the time we get to the finale of this movie, it's like we know what's going on, you know, like with Esther, but we know throughout the course of the movie that there is something wrong with this little girl. Like, what the fuck is this girl on? Is she okay? Does she need a psychological evaluation? Because it's like the family, they show up at this orphanage, like everything seems normal, right? Like this is typical horror movie stuff. It's like everything seems like it's gonna be all sunshine and rainbows, and they get there. The dad meets Esther. The dad's John. He meets Esther. She's painting. She's humming. But I also feel like she knew. Like, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, she's sitting in there painting, and then all of a sudden, like, he's like, well, I don't want to disturb her, so I'm just going to shut the door. And then it's like, she's like, who's there? And then, like, he was like, oh, hi, sorry, didn't mean to bother you or anything. And then he, like, you know, walks in, and everything seems like all sunshine and dandy and everything. But no, it's like the whole thing is just set up like beautifully.
Yeah, because like Esther's like the master manipulator. She knows how to work people, and that's so interesting to watch because, like you said, she like painted this like ideal image. It's like, of course, she would walk in, she happens to be painting, and she's like humming and singing her little song, and it's like kind of like that perfect image.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they hit it off because she's playing a part. This isn't how she really is. She's playing a part for them. And so, like, yeah, it makes sense why they would choose her. Because she's putting up a front, and she does that the entire movie, and she's playing people all the time. And it makes sense in the end. But she's such a good antagonist. And it's a cool movie because, you know, a lot of times when we do like watch slasher movies, we don't necessarily know who the killer is, you know, if it's like a whodunit. But I like with this movie that you know pretty much up front. I mean, it's the tagline. There's something wrong with Esther.
Mm-hmm.
So we know going in there's something wrong with her, but it's just the way it all unfolds, and we get to watch how she's just using Max, how she's using the dad, how she's painting the mom to be terrible. She's playing into everyone's like hand, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, like, and that's exactly the best way to describe it, is the fact that she's just literally, it's like her own game. It's like her version of like, how can I turn this family upside down without making me seem like I'm the bad guy? You know what I mean? It's like, and like we start seeing that, like, and you can see like it's kind of like a sad story too, because it's like this family is so excited to adopt another child after what happens in the beginning. And the beginning is just so disturbing. It's got to be so disturbing, and it's got to be really scary, you know, for, you know, moms that are watching this that are just like, oh my gosh, like, or if like people have ever actually went through something like this, like where, you know, you lose a child. It's like, it's a genuine fear of a lot of people, of like something that is very real that someone can go through. And, you know, like, that's exactly what happens with this family. Like, Kate is a mother of two that was trying to have a third baby, but something went awfully wrong and she lost it in the birth process. And so it's like they decide that they want to go and try and adopt a third child. But I mean, it's like, and just when they think everything is fine, it's not, because like Esther arrives at home and she seems super nice at the orphanage, as she should, right? Like, she's trying to sell herself to get involved in this family. And we obviously know that this isn't, like, we find out later that this isn't the first time that she's done this. But, like, I mean, like, the way that she comes off is so charismatic and likable. I mean, this, like, Isabella Fuhrman is just such a damn likable, like, she's such a likable presence. And the fact that she was, like, I believe, because she's, like, my age right now. I think she's 26 years old.
She's
right?
my age.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, wait, how old is she? How old are you? 23?
I'm 23.
She's 23? I thought
She's
she was
either 23 or 24.
I think she's 25. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I was watching the kill count, and you said at the filming of the prequel,
No,
she's 23.
She was, during the filming, maybe. So she was born in 97, so she's 25. Yeah, so.
Damn.
Yeah,
she's right in between.
Yeah, she's 25. So she's 1 year, like, she's just underneath my age. So I mean, like,
she would have been.
Yeah, so
13?
she would have been. Yeah, so she was, like, give or take, like, around that. Like, so she was, like, technically, if she was in school, she'd be in 6th grade. Like, if, like, back when this came out. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, like, this fucking girl is, like, a year younger than I am. And she's such a good actress. Like, she is just so good throughout the course of this movie.
She is so good because she's playing, like this sweet, innocent, perfect little child. And then she's also a killer and she's psycho. And we're watching it both kind of happen at the same time. And this movie's so frustrating because it's one of those, it's another trope where no one, like, where the husband doesn't believe the wife. Because the wife is saying there's something wrong here because she keeps, like, it was, she said she didn't know how to play the piano, but she can fucking play it like she's an expert. Like, yeah, it might be small, but it's still weird. Like, why would you lie about that? Like, that's just odd. And the husband's like, oh, it's nothing, like, whatever. She's like, okay. And then it just progressively gets worse. Each thing she does, it just gets worse and worse. And the part with the fucking flowers, oh my God. The first time I watched it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? She knew what those flowers were, and the husband literally, the dad was like, you should, like, give her something nice. And she's like, okay. And uses the fucking flowers that her dead daughter's ashes are spread on. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I know. It's quite, it's just like, it's like, again, it's like just when you think that she's actually done something nice for her, it's like it's like as soon as she pulls out the flowers and, like, you know what they are, it's like, and it's like the camera angle, like, this movie's very well directed too. Like, I mean, the direction of this movie is fucking awesome. Like, but, like, as soon as she pulls out the flowers and you just kind of, like, start remembering, like, what that was, you're just like, oh my gosh. And then not even that. It's to the extent, like, after she grabs her arm, she's like, let go of me. And then, like, like, she takes off. That night when she goes into the fucking shed and fucking breaks her arm, like, she, like, puts the screwdriver edge in her mouth and, like, fucking starts breaking her arm.
Twisting it.
I'm just like, oh my God. And then I'm like, of course, what is she going to do? She's going to fucking blame the moms.
Yeah. And, like, even in that scene with the flowers, like, she takes them and then Vera Farmiga, she runs to, like, grab them and she, like, fucking pulls them back so she can't get to them. And oh my God, the feeling of whatever after. So she has it out for the brother, which understandably so, because the brother's kind of an asshole too.
Yes.
He doesn't deserve kind of everything he got, but he's an asshole. So, like, a little bit maybe. But he, tries to set the fucking treehouse on fire with him in it. And so he falls out and he has to go to the hospital and then tries to kill him again. It's fucking crazy. And whenever, they revive him, that moment when Vera Farmiga slaps her, it's like, yeah, it does not help her case whatsoever. It makes her look even worse. But, like, it felt so good because she needed to get slapped.
She did. She
really did.
She needed a fucking good, like, spanking of some sort.
She needed to get knocked out.
I mean, the good spanking I think she was hoping to get from the dad, like, from John. Because like that whole scene, like first of all, okay, let's answer Good Reels. Good Reel, I see your super chat. And Denise, what's going on? I see. Or Carlitos, what's up? Denise, how's it going? I see you in the chat here. And then Tyler, what's going on, man? How are you? So he says, so again, what twist that's most shocking, Orphan or Sleepaway Camp? Destiny, what do you got to go with?
I'm gonna go with Orphan just because I knew the ending of Sleepaway Camp, so I felt like even though whenever I watched like a video about it, I was still like, oh wow, but it didn't have that same effect on me. But like I said, like I watched Orphan without knowing anything about it, and so I got to like actually live in that shock. And I think it's interesting because both movies, you know who the killer is in a way. Like I feel like Angela's obvious that she is the killer in Sleepaway Camp. It makes sense. The shock is that she's a boy. That's the shock. Which, whenever I actually watched it, I'm like I get it is shocking, but also there's a lot in the movie that if you just think about it, it puts it there for you. And in this movie, we know something's wrong with Esther, and we know she's a killer. We see her kill someone, the nun or whatever they're called. But that's not really the twist. The twist is that she's actually a grown woman. So they're both similar in that sense to where we know, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really good, like, kind of like a comparison between the two. Is it's obvious, but then again, it's really not that obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, I mean, I think that Orphan has got the better twist, in my opinion. Even though it's like Sleepaway Camp for the 80s and everything, like, I thought for the time it had a very, very good twist and a very, very good, ending that just kind of, like, left you thinking about the movie, right? But, like, I feel like here, it's like, this is, like, just, like, one of those endings, like, where it's just, like, fuck, dude. Like, oh, my God. Like, this little girl, like, I mean, like, not only is she a little girl, but she's a grown woman, and like we figure that out just before. Luckily, I'm glad that we figured that out right before she tried to come onto or it was either right before or right after. Okay, so
it was right.
It was right
we're
after.
Finding out as she's having her breakdown, and we're finding out because let's see, what's her name? Katie. Katie's on the phone, and they're like, "Hey, this is not a little girl. This is actually a grown woman. She's done shit like this before." And we're watching Esther remove her dentures. She has her like boobs taped up. So we're like watching it like unfold. Her whole image is like breaking down as we're finding out about it, which is just, it's such like a good, the way they did it is so good. And like that image of her like looking at her, or like looking at the camera, but like looking at herself with like the mascara and eyeshadow, everything's like running down, and she's fucking pissed. It's just the way they did it. It's so good.
I know. It's like just like watching her kind of like unfold into this like 33-year-old psychopath. Like that is, it's like, so like we find out that she has like this like rare disorder to like where she's still like, she's an adult, but she looks like she's like fucking like 9 years old or however old she's supposedly said to be when, this family gets her. And it's like, as he's on the phone and he's explaining this, and just like the way, and even like when they find out that the place that was in her Bible wasn't an orphanage, it's a mental institution, like you're just like, fuck.
What the fuck?
You're just like, so this family is in very big danger, as if like we didn't know that already. It's like it's just like the movie just kind of keeps like throwing shit at you to where it's just like, okay, now like there's this, and okay, now there's this. And I did start watching the kill count too, and even like when James like was like talking about like how this is just like a blender of different tropes, and he goes, by God, I think it works.
No, because it does. Like I feel like it's just like it's a smart movie, like the way they're hiding it in plain sight almost. It's just like, it's genius, because I did not see that coming at all. I had no fucking idea the first time I watched this, and I remember being like so shocked. I was like, oh my God, is this one of the best movies I've ever seen? And you know what? I think so. it has like fucking like a 57 on Rotten Tomatoes and like a 44 on something else. I was like, did we watch the same movie? Because like it is acted so well, I think, from all parts. First of all, Max is adorable. She is so cute. I love her. And anytime she's in danger, I'm pissed off because Esther is using Max the whole time and she's like playing into because, she's like using sign language and, she's connecting with Max and everything. And it makes me so angry because of course you're going to prey on her. Like, of course. And like I said, you have Daniel who's not up for it. He's not happy with this whole situation. Rightfully so. He goes a little bit too far with some things he says, but, rightfully so, because she's obviously not good. But everyone does such a great job in this movie, especially fucking Esther and especially Katie.
I mean,
they are amazing.
Speaking of which, fucking Vera Farmiga, who I didn't even realize like that. So this was the first horror movie. Being I was in 7th grade, this was the first horror movie I ever saw with her, with Vera Farmiga. And I mean, this really does set the stage. I'm like, okay, now this makes sense, like. Because she was in The Conjuring, and then she's been in a bunch of different like horror stuff like since this, and I'm like, okay, now this makes sense because like, I mean, she's really, really damn good in this movie. Like, I mean, I'm talking like really fucking good.
So good.
And
the first thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'll say the first thing I ever saw her in was The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep. That I mean. I think I saw that around 7th grade. So, yeah, I saw her in that around that time too. But I was going back to your, like, ratings. I was going to say IMDb has a 7 out of 10 right now, which is actually relatively, that's good for a horror movie in particular. I mean, a 7 out of 10, if you're like a 6 out of 10 or higher on IMDb, I think that you're pretty much in the clear, like I'd say.
Yeah, I think 7 is good. I would personally give it higher, but I think 7 is like, okay.
I mean,
I can work with that.
Like for 219,000 ratings and a 7 out of 10, I'd say that's pretty solid if you ask me. So It does seem like that the genuine like consensus is that this movie is actually is shocking. It gets a lot of people. It gets under a lot of people's skin. They're just kind of like, holy shit. And honestly, I mean. I gotta call bullshit if anybody sees this twist coming. I'm sorry. Like, this is like one of those like things like where I'm just like, I'm sorry, unless you've seen this somewhere or unless you've got it spoiled for you. I'm not buying that you think that this little girl is an adult female. Get fucked. Like, I'm sorry.
That transition from her when she like starts removing everything and we finally see like what she really looks like. Like, she genuinely looks older. They did amazing makeup on her because she looks older and her teeth are like, they're not good. Her teeth are not good. She has like dark under eyes. She looks fucking mean. She looks so mean when she unveils herself. And then when she fucking kills the dad and stabs him over and over, like, the dad is a piece of shit. I think he's a crappy husband. He doesn't believe his wife. The only time he finally realizes there's something up with Esther when she comes onto him, which uncomfortable fucking scene. It is so uncomfortable because like she actually is like all up on him, like kissing him and like, I love you, daddy. Like, I really love you. And she's disgusting.
And touching him too. Like, she like starts like touching him, and then and then at that point, like when she actually like starts like feeling up on him, he like stands up. He's like, okay, like he's like, look, he's like, just stop, like, and then it's like we find out as she like goes upstairs, like she's like upset. We find out that this is something that she's done before, and because like she tried to seduce the father of the family that she was with, like, I mean that whole thing is like, what? Like, she killed him because she couldn't successfully seduce him. So my question is like, so she's seducing him, but then is she also killing him if she successfully seduces him? Like,
I think so.
So like, no matter
what, if not him, the rest of the family, yeah.
So no matter what, everybody just fucking dies. I think so.
I think
Like,
that's really her end game.
interesting.
But and like once she kills the dad and she fucking goes to town on him, stabs him over and over. Fucking, I love when fucking Katie drives through the fucking house because she knows like finally like what is up. She always knew something was wrong. She knows the full truth and like her family is in danger. She drives through that fucking house, and that house is beautiful. They have a gorgeous house.
It is a nice house.
It is a nice fucking house, But I understand. Good thing like her daughter wasn't standing right there, but like whatever. Drives through there, and like they fight, and she fucking like falls onto her. She like jumps and lands on her. Hilarious. That is so funny. But I fucking love the ending of the movie when they make it out to the lake, which has been had alcohol problems.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like understandably so. She lost her child, so like I understand that's definitely something hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But one day when she was drinking, Max was on the lake, and the husband stopped it because something bad could have happened. But then we get to the lake, where we've been like talking about this a lot, and when they both go down, because Max tries to shoot and fucking misses. I love in the kill count. He's like, and Max misses because she's fucking 5. That just made me, because like, yeah, but she's trying her best and she's adorable. But she misses, the ice breaks, they fall in, whatever. She gets up, Katie gets up, Esther's holding on. And when she's like, I love you, mommy. When she fucking says, I'm not your fucking mommy. Oh my God. Amazing. It's amazing. And he fucking kicks her, breaks her neck, and she's down in the water. That is so good. Because you just want her to fucking die.
Yeah, it's like almost like even like entering into watching Orphan first kill this week, it's like no matter the damage that Esther is going to cause in this movie, it's like we know how her story ends. It's like, so it's like we know that she's a piece of shit. We know that she's fucking just a psycho bitch that likes to kill people for fun. So it's like, I mean, I'm excited to see what else this is going to bring to the story. And to see like what else, like maybe about Esther that we don't know, maybe because I've only seen the trailer once. Destiny, you said you haven't seen it at all, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I've only seen it once. I really remember nothing about it. I was at work when I was watching it, so like, I mean, I'm just like kind of like now I'm like, okay, nope, not watching it. Want to know nothing about it. We're going into this like this weekend, and we're just gonna experience it for the first time. That's kind of like what I did with this movie. I didn't really know what Orphan was.
Mm-mm.
I knew that I had wanted to see it. I was like, okay, so you know what? We're gonna go see this. And I was just genuinely shocked with the turnout. I didn't know that I was about to see one of the nowadays most underrated horror films ever. I mean, like this movie is just phenomenal from like the start to the finish. I think it's got a great story. I think that the twist of it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the acting in this movie is unreal for a horror movie. So, I mean,
it's so good. Like, I feel like on all parts, it's great. Like, and it's like a snowy setting horror movie. Mm-hmm. And I never bring this up when I talk about like winter setting horror movies, but this is a great one because there's a lot of snow. That's like a big part of the movie. Is every time they're outside, there's always like snow, which is cool. Because then the death scenes look cool against the snow, of course, all the blood, which there's not too much blood, but, there's only 3 kills in this movie, including Esther, so small body count. But I feel like this movie doesn't really need it. I feel like we're going to probably see more in the prequel. I feel like we're definitely going to see more of a body count, which I'm excited for because I'm really interested to see how they pull this movie off. That is something, since when they announced that they were making a prequel, which makes sense because she's dead, and I don't think you're coming back from that. But when they announced a prequel and that, she's playing Esther again, I was like, what the fuck? How are they going to do this? But, they talked about, camera angles and body doubles and like forced perspective. So I'm just so curious. Oh, and makeup. I'm so interested to see how they're going to pull this off. Yeah. And I really hope they do. I hope they do.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've said that this is like a long time coming. I mean, I just genuinely think that Orphan, I mean, no matter how this one turns out, Orphan is still going to be, you know, one of the, in my opinion, best horror movies like ever.
Hmm.
Like I just genuinely think there's a lot of shock to it. It doesn't have somebody in a scary mask. It doesn't have somebody that, you know, I don't know, like that you would, I guess, be genuinely frightened of, like when you see her at first. But it's like one of those things that like the unsettlingness of the movie as it like plays out, or like even when she what do you call it, like when she even enters Max's room for the very first time and like the lightning flashes and she's just standing over
Hmm.
over she. Now I will say I think that um I do think that it kind of hints at her love for the father as soon as like when she goes into the room for the first time and she's like, I want to sleep with daddy.
Yeah,
And like he
definitely.
like lays like next to him and all that, just like gets way too excited for that. So
Girl, you gotta calm down.
I'm like, yo.
Do
So I was like,
what?
I was like watching it today, and I was just like, oh, okay, so this is what it's all leading up to and setting up.
Yeah, it definitely hints at it a little bit. And it's like one of those things you can read it like either way. But then, of course, once you see the rest of the movie, you know. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it could have been. I feel like if she didn't mean it that way, it's like, I want to lay with dad, you know?
Yeah,
Even daddy freaks me out. But like, I want to lay with daddy. Not like, I don't know, just sleep. It's just,
yeah, or like
sleeping with
even
someone can mean different things.
yeah, I mean even like with like Kate when she's talking to John and she's just like she acts completely normal with you. Like she's
Hmm.
always acting up with me. It's almost like she wants to act on her best behavior with with John.
Hmm.
Like, you know, I'm just kind of like, dude, like this is fucking weird.
It's very
there,
weird.
there
It's
are just
very.
like there are so many different times, but we also find out that John isn't, you know, the perfect individual. We find out that he has slept with another woman. Like that was when Kate had a lot of her problems and everything. And you know, like that's like we find out like even when he like, but it's almost also like Esther tells Kate that because she's even jealous that he's talking to another woman at the park.
Yeah.
Like it's like what the fuck. And like then Esther like pushes the, now I will say that bully had it coming. I will say it's like there were
She
like
was a bitch.
moments like, yeah, there were moments in the movie, it's like even though she's a little girl and she doesn't really know any better, you're just
Mm.
kind of like well, I she has something coming. And Esther's look when she's like, I mean, you could tell that that little girl is unsettled by the way that she looks at her.
Mhm.
Like anytime like a fucking little girl's like looking at you as she's walking to her seat and won't take eye contact off of you, you're just like, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Literally, just don't be a bully, because she keeps fucking with her ever since Esther got there. And that moment when she tries to reach for her ribbons, which I love the ribbons, because you're like, why the fuck is she wearing it? Like, oh, maybe she just likes them. And the woman at the orphanage told her like the only time she ever gave us trouble is when we try to take off her ribbons. So you're like, oh, I
That's
wonder what's up with that.
right. Because of all of the scar. Yeah, that's right. Because she has
Hmm.
like all these like scars under her. Like, holy shit. Yeah, fuck. Like, I mean, again, the screenplay is just so well written, and just like the fucking cast that they got for this movie is, I mean, fucking unbelievable. And just like even the way it's directed, it feels like, you know, the POV shots. Anytime I get POV shots like I do in this movie, like down the hallway, I always think of Michael Myers, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm just kind of like, it kind of has all these different elements to it. It's got just so much to it that just makes you just be like, yeah, this is a horror movie that just kind of like throws a lot of different tropes in, but it has an ending. And I truly do think that more horror movies need twists like this. Like, I mean, it's like, because it's like an audience, and this is just films in general. It's like an audience, it's like it sticks with you. Like they stick with you, right? They stick with you all the way up until the end. and you want to be able to give them a payoff like this. You're just like, oh my fucking gosh.
Mm-hmm.
This is like even stuff that's like introduced in the beginning of the movie, it's like you want to come back towards the end to be like, oh, this is what they were like, so like when you go back and watch it again and you're like, okay, like now let me re-examine this from a different lens. Like I feel like that's how a good just movie in general is done. And I think Orphan has like a really good amount of all that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the last movie I watched that like genuinely had me surprised. And I don't know, like No Exit, which came out this year on Hulu, it had, I think, in my opinion, a little bit too much of some surprises. But before that, I was like, oh, this is like pretty cool. Fresh would have been a great surprise if they didn't fucking market the movie they did, like the way they did. Like the fucking poster for it gives away like what the movie is, which is unfortunate because like you don't need to do that, because if it wasn't for that, yeah, like if the poster is of a hand wrapped in like when you buy hamburger meat and like the foam, and it's like wrapped around in like saran wrap sort of like plasticky material, So like you can kind of figure where this movie's going from the poster alone. I wish it wasn't that, because that would have been a great twist of the movie, because like something's going on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you saw the fucking poster, you might get a better idea, because I saw the poster. So the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, he's saying this, but he means it in this way because of this. So I wish they wouldn't have done that poster, because I feel like that would have been a really cool, if you just didn't know anything about it, like a cool twist. But, whatever. But I don't remember the last time I watched a twist like this. Something that like genuinely like had me on the floor,
Yeah. Like, I mean, I agree. Like, this is like still one of those movies that like stick with me. Again, it's like anytime I hear someone thinking about it or like talking about it, I hear somebody thinking.
Yeah,
about it.
Makes sense. I was just like, okay.
I just hear people's thoughts is all. No, I honestly, I don't want to hear anybody's thoughts. I feel like that would be like a weird trait to have. Like, I mean, just to hear everything that everyone is thinking. I mean, I wouldn't want to hear anything everyone is thinking, but like if you can like look at somebody and like get in their head and just like think about like what they're saying or thinking.
Like Edward from Twilight.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like that might be kind of interesting,
Maybe.
But Twilight is just god awful. It's
what
terrible.
The fuck?
No, it's awful. I'm sorry. It's
grow
terrible.
up.
The books are much better. I don't know what you're talking about. So, the books are actually relatively decent. The movies are, Destiny. I'm sorry. I really do. I apologize for that.
It's okay. Not everyone has good taste.
Good taste in Twilight. Someone back me up here. Someone in the chat. Slanderize this woman right now.
Go ahead. I know the truth.
She's like, anybody that has good taste likes Twilight, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
No, that's I don't think that's relevant. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we talked about. Did we touch on everything in Orphan? Like, did we touch on everything that's like important and everything that we need to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well then my one question to leave you with this episode is, what are you hoping for in the prequel?
Were you asking me?
I was asking you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What am I hoping for?
I will say, what are you hoping for in the prequel?
Bloody kills. For it to work. To not have me, thinking about how this is a grown woman. What else? I guess just more backstory. I don't know. Yeah. I just want it to be good.
Yeah, I will say that I saw that the actress, she posted on like the first, I think it was day one of her on set, and she posted a super bloody image of like her face like covered in blood. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to see what the body count's going to be in this movie. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. So obviously, guys, next week on Fear Freaks, that's going to be our topic. We are talking about Orphan First Kill. I will say right now that the episode will be live on Tuesday night, and that means episodes will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts on Wednesday next week. We're not doing Wednesday night next week. We're doing Tuesday night, so definitely be mindful of that. Plan your schedules accordingly. If you guys like to be here live, we appreciate you guys. But I did like to include in our new background in the message below. If you miss us live, feel free to check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys can hear our voice instead of seeing us. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Destiny, any last minute things you want to say on Orphan tonight?
I think it's a great movie. I'm glad we talked about it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it's got me more excited for Friday. So
yeah, exactly. Rewatching this today, I actually do. I only started the kill count. I gotta go now watch Dead Meat, and I gotta watch the kill count and all that shit. But yeah, definitely excited for Friday. Destiny, what do you got coming out this week? What else you got coming up this week? Anything on other channels or what's going on?
I don't think so. I don't think I have anything this week.
Okay. Good to know. So you guys won't catch Destiny on anything this week. You guys can look forward to her on Fear Freaks on Tuesday night, though. But tomorrow I've got my Halloween 4 kill ranking coming out, so that'll be out sometime tomorrow morning. And then really, I think I'm done for the week. I might have a Halloween Ends theory that I want to discuss, but we'll see. Like if I have the motivation to film a video and edit it and all that shenanigans. So, yeah, look out for the Halloween 4 kill ranking from my end tomorrow. If not, you guys can check out Fear Freaks this upcoming Tuesday on the channel as always. So thank you guys so much for being such a great audience tonight. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you guys like this, remember, I do have a new opening here tonight. So make sure you guys turn your our new ending here tonight. So make sure you guys turn your volume down a little bit. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be. It was pretty loud on my computer earlier. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Destiny, stick around for a little bit after the ending plays. I know you normally do. So, don't go anywhere until I dismiss you.
Got it.
Okay, but look forward to more videos very soon. And if you guys like this, don't forget to join us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. And we will see you guys next week on Fear Freaks.
Bye.
Bye.